Hello everyone, and welcome to the second edition of Race Review. I'm Ethan Price, and today we're going to be talking about all the action that took place Saturday and Sunday night. That action being the NASCAR Truck and Cup Series' visit to Bristol, Tennessee to race on the dirt. For the second straight week in the Craftsman Truck Series, it was a one-man show. This time though, instead of a rookie dominating the whole race, it was a veteran from the Cup Series. With practice being washed out by Mother Nature, it was uncertain heading into the heat races Saturday afternoon of who would be contenders for the win. When the heats got underway, that question was answered quickly though, as ThorSport Racing teammates Ben Rhodes and Hailie Deegan swept the opening two spots. Heat 2 belonged to Stuart Friesen, while Heat 3 was another ThorSport domination by Joey Logano and Ty Majeski. Heat 4 saw a photo finish as, once again, ThorSport's last driver Matt Crafton edged out Roger Carruth for the heat win. In all, ThorSport Racing won 3 out of 4 of the heat races and had all 5 of their trucks starting at least 8th or better. It was clearly evident that the ThorSport stable had unloaded 5 blazing fast trucks, and it was no surprise to see Joey Logano lead 138 out of 150 laps, holding off teammate Majeski to get a second ever Truck Series win. Although Ty Majeski may have fallen short of capturing his first win of the season, Mr. Consistent continued his streak of 3 consecutive top 5s. His worst finish, 6 races into 2023, is 11th. Majeski's lead in the standings went from +3 to +34 following Bristol after Zane Smith encountered troubles late in the going. Now let's talk about the Cup side of things. Before the teams had even arrived in Bristol, Hendrick Motorsports was at the top of the storylines once again. Just a week after having won the appeal for the Louvre troubles down in Phoenix, with Alex Bowman being reinstated as the points leader, both the number 48 and number 24 cars of William Byron and Bowman were hit with a 60-point penalty after their cars were taken to the R&D Center and were busted for violations. The reasoning given for the penalty was unapproved modifications, and this time it looks like HMS will not be appealing. Once they got to Bristol, it was immediate action for the most part as Heat 1 concluded with an Austin Dillon victory over Tyler Reddick. Despite a valiant effort in Heat 2, Chase Briscoe could just not get the power down on the exits, and Ryan Blaney led from flag to flag in the second heat to pick up the win. Heat 3 saw a remarkable moment where Kyle Larson, who had started deep in the 10-car field, went from the back to the lead in one single lap, crossing the line with relatively ease and first. Bubba Wallace bounced back after a rough couple of weeks as he dominated the final heat and captured the checkered. Once the passing points were added up, Kyle Larson was announced the pole winner for Sunday night's Food City Dirt Race. And lead the field the number 5 car would, as Larson started out front and commanded the field for the first 75 laps, leading the entire opening stage, before track position became a factor and he faded. Tyler Reddick assumed the lead and led over 60 laps, but it would be his fellow Toyota ally Christopher Bell who was the final race leader as he held onto the top spot from lap 151 to 250. During the swapping for the lead, tensions were brewing in the middle of the pack after Ryan Preece's Ford Mustang had been cut off and thrown into the outside fence down the front stretch following a late block by Larson Chevrolet. The incident hurt Preece's car, and after being hit again while 3 wide, the toe link broke on his machine and he spun out. Stewart-Haas Racing was able to fix the car and get him back out there, and not long after Preece's spin, Larson had his own while up front. Charging his way back through the field, the number 5 and number 41 cars encountered each other once more, and after dancing around one another for several laps, they finally collided. While planning to pass around the outside, Preece moved up and repaid the favor from earlier as Larson got put in the fence. The contact was much more severe though this time around, and it is believed to have broken the front part on the 5 car. With the loss of momentum, Larson's wounded Chevy hit Preece in the passenger door before crashing into the outside wall entering turn 3. The crash ended Larson's night, and last week's winner found himself in the garage before lap 200. Preece went on to finish 24th, while Larson suffered his 3rd DNF of the season, finishing 35th. In a twist of irony, Tyler Reddick found himself in the opposite situation he was in last year. Instead of being the cat out in front, he was now the one chasing Bell for the win. The number 45 was rapidly closing in on his fellow Toyota ally, but a crash on the final lap in front of the leaders derailed any shot he had at a chance at victory as the caution came out entering turn 3 before he could try to make the move for the win. Christopher Bell ended up winning, becoming the 7th different winner in 8 races so far this season. With the win, and former points leader Ross Chastain being involved in that last lap crash, Bell ascends to the points lead where he has a 13-point gap back to Chastain. This week, NASCAR remains on the short tracks as they return to Virginia, but this time it's in Martinsville. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is also back after an off week as all three main divisions of the sport will be active.